According to the Heart and Stroke Foundation South Africa, cardiovascular disease is responsible for about 6 deaths per day, while almost 5 people have heart attacks every hour. Well, a new United States study shows that increased omega-3 fats may actually reduce multiple types of cardiovascular risk, including heart disease. For more on this, I'm joined via Skype by Guilia Criscuolo, and she is a pharmacist, complementary medicines expert and life coach. She joins me now via Zoom. A very good morning to you, Guilia. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Simpirio. Lovely to be with you.
Now, speak to us more about a comprehensive study that shows that increased omega-3 fats may actually reduce heart disease.
Yes, this US study that actually looked at over 40 clinical trials, and that's covering more than 135,000 participants. And what they found is that, as you said, the omega-3s, which is DHA and EPA, when you take those in enough quantities, it actually increases heart attack risks by 35% and also coronary heart disease by 10%. But the interesting thing, Simpirio, was they found that when you add an extra 1,000 milligrams a day of this combination of EPA and DHA, that it actually reduces cardiovascular risk by 6% and also heart disease by 9%. So it's very important. The study shows us that the right quantity of these two essential fatty acids is really important in terms of having a really significant effect on reducing heart disease and heart attack risks.
Tell us about what the main causes of heart disease are.
Well, of course, age and lifestyle plays a huge factor in terms of that. Lifestyle, looking at the kind of food that you eat, how much you move your body. So if you have very low physical activity, you have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Also, if you are diabetic, if you are obese, men more than women. However, after the menopause, women have a higher risk of heart disease. If you have high blood pressure, you also are at higher risk. And also, just generally poor lifestyle plays a huge role in terms of adding to the causes of cardiovascular disease.
And take us through some of the major symptoms of heart disease and attacks that we should be on the lookout for.
Well, if you notice in your body, one should know one's general state of being. But if you notice, for example, when you do some physical activity and suddenly find that you've got chest pain or maybe pain in the upper abdomen or even in the jaw or the back, that can be a sign, often called angina. If you're suddenly short of breath or you're feeling extremely tired and fatigued, maybe you have a swelling in your feet, which you don't normally do, you feel lightheaded or dizzy. These can be some of the signs and symptoms that maybe your heart isn't doing as well as it should.
Just how common is heart disease in South Africa?
Well, as you said in your intro, Simpiwe, cardiovascular disease is responsible for 6 deaths a day in South Africa, and 5 people die from a heart attack every hour. So it is quite high. And in the world, about 17 million deaths happen every year globally due to cardiovascular disease. So it is something that needs attention and unfortunately quite common in South Africa as well.
So what are some of the omega-3 fats and the sources thereof? And how can we get enough to be healthy?
Simpiwe, can you just repeat that question? There was an interaction there.
What are some of the omega-3 fats and the sources of these fats thereof? And how can we get enough to be healthy?
Mm-hmm. Well, omega-3 encompasses essential fatty acids, which is ALA, DPA, and EHA. Mm-hmm. And these essential fats the body does not make. So you actually have to get it from your diet. And good sources of those would be oily fish. So those are things like salmon, mackerel, sardines. Your white fish, like hake and that, is very low in omega-3, so it needs to be the oily fish. But you also get it from flax seeds, flaxseed oil, chia seeds. Those are good sources. Walnuts are also a good source of omega-3.
Okay.
And so our diet and nutrition provides, and also supplementation is important because, as a study shows, 1,000 milligrams is really a good amount of essential fatty acids to get every day. So important, if you do supplement with omega-3, make sure it's a very pure form, because our oceans, unfortunately, are quite polluted. And so you need to make sure that your omega-3 supplement is free from mercury and other heavy metals, and also that it comes from a sustainable source, because we don't want to overfish the oceans and then deplete the resources. So that's really important.
Yeah. Well, I suppose then a good diet is the only option, or should we supplement? And if so, what do you recommend?
I definitely feel that supplementation is essential, because I think most of us do not get enough omega-3 in our diet. We get a lot of omega-6, but not enough omega-3. And so if you're not eating oily fish 3 times a week, or getting enough walnuts or flax seeds and chia seeds in your diet, then I recommend taking a good quality, a pure form of omega-3 in supplement form. And as I said, make sure that the quality is really good. Where is the fish sourced from? That's important. And also, these essential oils tend to be at risk of going rancid. So there is a certain score that is given to determine the rancidity of an oil. So look out for that. When you're looking in your pharmacy or health store online, make sure that what you are buying is good quality, and that you're getting at least 1,000 milligrams combined of EPA and DHA. That's really important.
Okay. And what lifestyle or dietary changes can one make to improve heart health?
Very importantly is get into the sun, because sunshine, vitamin D is very good for heart health. Make sure that when you eat the food that you eat, that it's wholesome. In other words, as much as you can, try and minimize processed foods, packaged processed foods, cold meats, foods that are very high in the bad fats, and try and increase your intake of fresh fruit, vegetables, whole grains like barley, brown rice, a mealie meal is good, nuts and seeds are great, avocado, and all your processed trans fats should be kept to a minimum. Very, very important. We need to move our bodies, as we always say. Get out there, go for a walk every day. And also a huge impact on our cardiovascular health is stress. So as much as we can, we need to find ways of calming down our nervous systems, getting out, doing things that we love, and finding ways to become less busy, even though it sounds crazy. But having, like, it's a weekend now, so instead of filling up your day with a lot of activities, just find time to just rest in nature, go for a walk, and detox from all the stimulation we get from our devices, from the media, from the input, and spend time being quiet every day. That's really helpful.
But Guilia, did you just say that we should reduce our intake of fresh fruit? Isn't that what the doctors have been telling us all these years? To eat as much fresh fruit as possible?
Sorry. Perhaps I mixed my words up, but absolutely, Simpiwe, thank you for clarifying. We need to increase our intake of fresh fruit and vegetables, absolutely, and decrease our intake of processed foods, sugar, processed meats. That's not good for us. So thank you for clarifying that.
All right. That got me really, really worried. But Guilia, great chatting to you. Thank you so much. As always, we do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Guilia Criscuolo is a pharmacist, a complementary medicines expert and life coach. She just joined us via Skype to speak about a study of omega-3's powerful role in reducing heart attacks.